Welcome to Fix It Home Improvement, covering projects that every homeowner should know and great products for home and garden.
Hi, I'm JC, and this is where we share weekly home improvement tips. I'm here with my co-host, Sydney.
Hello, JC.
Hi, Sydney. This week, we're going to be talking about whole house surge protectors and strips, and we'd like to thank Christy Ferry for liking and sharing the podcast. And you can now check out our new ebook on Amazon. It's called Home Improvement Solutions, What Every Homeowner Should Know, Book 6. There are quite a few different types of surge suppressors. Most of them for the home use metal oxide varistors, or MOVs, and these were developed in the 1970s. One of the first surge suppressors was developed in the 1950s by General Electric.
Okay.
The standard voltage in the U.S. for homes is 120 volts for most circuits and 240 volts for large appliances. But that standard 120 volts isn't a constant voltage. It can vary. The NEC says the voltage will usually be in the 114 volt to 126 volt range, about a 5% variance. State Farm Insurance says when the electric increases beyond 169 volts because of a surge, you can do damage to the electronic circuit boards and the electrical components in appliances and electronics in your home. Lightning strikes can cause electrical surges in your home and send a spike through your electrical system, cable wires, antenna, or any wires that are coming into your home. And I read an article by the Georgia Power Company, and they said a lightning strike can travel up to 2 miles and cause damage to your appliances and your electronics.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, crazy. You know, lightning can heat the air 5 times the temperature of the surface of the sun.
Wow.
And lightning kills about 2,000 people a year. And being under a tree during a lightning storm is the second leading cause of lightning deaths. During a storm, damaged power lines can cause a power surge. When your electrical provider is switching grids, it can also cause a surge into your house. But according to the National Electrical Manufacturers Association, 60 to 80% of power surges, depending on your location, actually are coming from inside your house. And it's usually caused by appliances or large equipment turning on and off. So your air conditioning unit, if your garage door opener could cause it, your refrigerator. And they're usually small, but over time, these power surges are slowly degrading the electronics in your appliances or anything with electronics in it.
So that's like everything now?
Right.
Well, you even have to protect your washers and dryers?
Yeah, it's amazing. Almost everything. High-efficiency furnaces, air conditioning units now, heat pumps, your TV and your computer, game systems. Usually we're plugging those into surge protection. LED bulbs now, though, you know, you're worried about the circuitry in there. Smart devices. If you have your phone plugged into an outlet that's not protected and you're getting surges, or if there's a big surge, you can damage your phone. So by adding surge protective devices, you can help protect anything that has delicate electronics. An article I read from Eaton Electrical said there's about 20 surges a day in the average home.
Wow. How do surge protectors work?
So there's a variety of designs, but basically it's limiting the amount of electric flowing to your devices that are plugged into an outlet or wired into a circuit. They're absorbing the spike if it's small and quick, and then they divert to ground for large surges. And with the whole house surge protectors, that excess electric can be sent to the neutral or from the neutral to ground, depending on the device. What's interesting is all surge protectors will fail over time, so you need to have a routine of checking your surge devices and replacing them. And when you're picking a surge protector, you want one with a light that's going to show it's still functioning.
Right.
Some will have an endurance rating. One whole house surge protector I looked at said it will protect one 40,000 amp surge, or 10 15,000 amp surges, or 100 5,000 amp surges, 1,000 2,000 amp surges, 10,000 500 amp surges, or 100,000 200 amp surges. But every surge is slowly degrading the device, and they're all going to eventually fail.
What type of surge protectors are there?
So a type 1 is a surge protector that's connected permanently to the main electric meter coming into your house. And this would be installed by an electrician, or you can call your electrical provider and see what it costs to have them install one. Sometimes there's a one-time fee, or it can be a monthly payment like $6 to $10 a month. And these are primarily for large power surges from storms or surges from the electric power coming into your house. Type 2 surge protectors are whole house devices that you can wire into your service panel.
Or your breaker box.
Right. And these are going to help protect against surges from outside and inside your home. Type 3 are point-of-use surge protectors. So these are surge power strips or surge outlets. The National Fire Protection Association, the Institute for Business and Home Safety, and State Farm Insurance all recommend using at least 2 types of protection. So either a whole house and a point-of-use, or something permanently installed at the meter and then point-of-use. Because depending on how high the surge is and how fast the surge protector is designed to restrict that surge, excess electric can get past one protector, so a second protector is going to help reduce the chance of damage to your electronics. Whole house surge protectors are pretty easy to install in your service panel. The most common types will use a 2-pole breaker connected to the surge protector.
So that means it takes up 2 spaces in your breaker box?
Exactly. You want to match the style of your whole house surge protector to how your panel is mounted. You can get surge protection that mounts to the outside of the box, inside the box, or mounted on drywall next to your panel. And I would also check the manufacturer of your service panel and see if they have breaker styles that are designed for your panel. So Square D, for example, has a double breaker design for their Homeline load centers. It takes 2 spaces in the box and it connects just like a 2-pole breaker with a neutral wire. So it's just very easy to install. You just plug it in like you would just a standard breaker.
Cool.
I spoke to technical support at Eaton. It's EATON. And the gentleman I talked to recommended their CHSPT and the number 2 Ultra. And this is a whole house surge protector. And this can be attached to any service panel. And they recommend using a 2-pole 50 amp breaker connected to the surge protector and put the breaker at the top position of the panel just below the main breaker on either side. It has a surge current capacity of 108 kA.
Am I supposed to know what that is?
So if you see kA on a lot of these ratings, it means thousands of amps. So 108 kA would be 108,000 amps. And this is the amount of amps it can handle from a power surge. Eaton has receptacles with surge protection and breakers, and they recommend having 2 stages of protection, so whole house and point of use. I spoke to Leviton, Leviton, and they said the best protection is 3 stages of protection, but 2 stages minimum, so whole house and point of use. They're recommending their 51120-1 whole house surge protector, and this is connected to a 2-pole 20 amp breaker at the top of the panel under the main breaker, and this will mount flush on drywall next to the service panel. It has a maximum 50,000 amp surge rating, and the gentleman I spoke to suggested adding either 1,000 or 2,000 Joule point-of-use surge strips or receptacles, which they have, and make sure you're matching either 15 or 20 amp to your circuit.
Okay.
I spoke to Square D, and they recommend their HEPD-80, and this can be mounted to the side of any electrical service panel, and this has a surge current capacity of 80,000 amps. They recommend using a 20 or 30 amp 2-pole breaker at the top of the panel below the main breaker, and they said the average homeowner has about $15,000 worth of electronics that are susceptible to surge damage. I read an article by Peninsula Light, and they said to look for a minimum 10,000 amp surge current capacity, and the IEEE, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, they said 20,000 amp should be the minimum you look for, and you should go higher in areas with high rates of storms or lightning strikes, and higher is better. The companies I talked to said no surge suppressor will protect against a direct lightning strike on or around your house, but it's going to be the best protection you can have for those constant surges that all homes get.
Right.
And if you're putting in a whole house surge suppressor in your service panel and you're using a 2-pole breaker, you want to make sure that you're shutting off the main breaker while you're installing the protector and the breakers. You want to cover the main lugs with stiff cardboard, and that's going to prevent you accidentally touching them. Because even with the main breaker off, those lugs have power, and it could potentially be deadly. Surge protector outlets are great for appliances you wouldn't normally plug into a surge strip, or you don't have the room for an outlet surge cube. You want to match 15 or 20 amps, and these are good for wall-mounted TVs or outlets that you plug your phone into. The multi-outlet wall cubes or adapters plug into a wall outlet. Now this is going to give you more protected outlets to plug things into.
Exciting.
When you're comparing surge power strips, most are going to use a Joule rating. It's Joule, and this is just a measurement of energy, and it was named after James Prescott Joule. He was an English physicist and mathematician, and his dad was a successful brewer. And I just read an article that historians now think that ancient Egyptians were really good at brewing beer.
Wow, I'm impressed that you worked that into this.
So back to joules. The National Electrical Manufacturers Association and the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers don't recommend only looking at joules when you pick a surge power strip. They're saying that the Joule rating can be misleading depending on the clamping rate and other factors with these strips.
What does the Joule rating mean then?
So when I spoke to a couple companies, they described it either as an indication of the amount of energy above the normal range of electric that can be absorbed, and then anything high can be directed to ground, or the total amount that can be absorbed before the surge protector fails. So I got a couple different definitions. In general, though, when you're comparing surge strips or point-of-use surge protectors, you're looking for around 1,000 joules minimum. 2,000 and over, it's going to be better, and it should have an indicator light for protected and ground. When that protected light goes out, you need to change the surge strip because now it's just a power strip. You have no protection.
Which I don't know if everybody knows that.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Yeah, you have to have a routine because they all fail.
How often do you check yours?
Once every 30 days.
Liar, liar.
So some models will actually stop working when the protection fails, but not all do, so you need to be checking that light. And an alarm style is good for hard-to-reach areas, so it'll start to make a sound when it fails.
And then you forgot that that's what it does, so you're like, where's the sound coming from?
I need a battery for my smoke alarm, man. And that ground light is verifying that your outlet is properly grounded so excess voltage can be dissipated to the ground. If you don't have an outlet that's properly grounded, you have no protection for large spikes. You're also looking for a clamping rate of 400 minimum. 330 is better.
What is clamping rate?
It's the point where excess voltage is blocked, and you're going to see 330 volts, 400 volts, or 500 volts. Underwriters Laboratories recommend surge power strips that protect all your incoming lines, so cable, phone, and satellite, and it's marked with UL 1449, and this is verifying it meets the minimum performance standards. And there's going to be different versions. You might see 1449 version 2 or 3, but the key thing is looking for 1449. Also, see if it protects all three incoming lines. You want to look for L-N, L-G, or N-G. Actually, you're looking for all three.
So what does that mean?
Line to neutral, line to ground, and neutral to ground. If you're in an area with frequent storms or lightning, you want to look for MOVs, the metal oxide varistors that are fireproof. They're encased in ceramic, and that's going to help prevent a fire. And also look for built-in circuit breakers, and this is protecting the strip itself from overloads. This isn't really related to surges. It's more of a fire prevention. USA.gov had a list of tips for surge strips. Only use surge protectors with internal breakers. Don't plug a surge protector into an extension cord, a power strip, or another surge protector. Only use one surge protector in a single duplex outlet. Never cover the cord with carpet or anything to block airflow. Never staple, tack, or tape up the cord or use zip ties on it. Any outlet you plug it into must be grounded. And use whole house protection with a surge strip. And protect each electronic device in your home with some type of surge protection. When you're shopping for surge protectors, you can also compare the warranties, but I would check the detail.
Did you spend the week reading warranties,
some light reading. So a lot of them said you have to keep your receipt, and if you ever have a claim, you may have to have an independent repair company verify the cause of the damage. You have to file an insurance claim and verify with the adjuster the cause and the damage. And most of these are limited to a few years after the purchase. With the whole house surge protectors, the warranties I read say it has to be installed by a professional and you have to have a receipt that shows exactly the work they did. But the warranty does give you an indication of the quality.
Okay.
Some top-rated whole house surge protectors: Leviton, Leviton, Square D, and it's just square and just the letter D. Intermatic, Intermatic, Eaton, Eaton, and Siemens, Siemens. Some top-rated surge strips are from Woods, Woods, Trip Light, Tripp, capital Lite, Legrand, Le, capital Grand, and APC, just the letters A, P, and C.
Do you have anything else to add?
To protect all the delicate electronic components in your home.
So anything that you plug in?
Right. A combination of whole house and point-of-use surge protection is going to give you the best protection. And get surge protectors with an indicator light or an alarm to let you know when they fail, and check them on a routine.
Just like JC does every 30 days.
Exactly.
Let's wrap this up.
You can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, CastBox, the Pandora mobile app, or your favorite podcast app.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a review.
You can check out our home improvement videos on our YouTube channel, Fix It Home Improvement.
And you can subscribe to that as well.
You can download our books, Home Improvement Solutions, What Every Homeowner Should Know, on Amazon, book 1 through 6.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a 5-star rating and review.
You can email us at fixitpodcast@gmail.com, and you can follow Cindy on Twitter at FixItCohost.
Thank you for listening.
Talk to you next week.